get you the latest on the situation from Sipho Hlomuka, who is the KwaZulu-Natal Co-operative Governance and Traditional Affairs MEC. MEC, good evening, and thank you for joining us. What is the latest that you can tell us about people sheltering in community halls and the humanitarian situation that is unfolding in the province?
Well, good evening to yourself and also to the viewers. Let's start by sending condolences to all the families that have lost their loved ones, who are really with them as a government, who are in a state because of the life that they have lost in KwaZulu-Natal, as the Premier has already indicated. I must say that we are under the control of the situation. We're on a daily basis, we are visiting the displaced families of people who have been housed or accommodated in public facilities because they have challenges of their houses that have been washed away by the floods. And on a daily basis, we are providing food food in the morning, midday, even at night, because as a current government, we want to ensure that at least our people, they have food on the table. We are restoring water and restoring electricity across the province in areas that have been affected, especially at Ethekwini, Nilembe, and Oku. We have ensured that we have get water tankers and static tanks as a provincial government as a short-term intervention as we restore water. Running water in some areas. We will then take out those water tankers because we don't want our people to receive water through water tankers, but we want our people to receive water through the running water. But we can't leave them while pipes have been washed away by these floods. That's why we make sure that at least let's have water tankers to address the challenges that we are faced with.
And MEC, where is the greatest need in as far as water restoration and supply through the emergency interventions that you mentioned? Where exactly in the province is it? Because this was a disaster. This is a disaster that is unfolding in many municipalities across the province.
Well, correctly so. The disaster is not only Ethekwini, it's across the province, but especially at Ethekwini, Oku district, Ilembe, and Mkongondlovu and King Cetshwayo. Those are the areas that really have challenges of disaster and have challenges of water. That's why even the water tankers that we introduced today, we have ensured that we deploy those water tankers and stacking tanks, not only Ethekwini, but there's in other municipalities outside the Ethekwini, because we're not only caring for people of Ethekwini, but we ensure that the people of KwaZulu-Natal as a whole, they receive the same service delivery or same treatment that the people of Ethekwini they are receiving. So the need is across all those districts that I've already mentioned.
Yeah. And what's the capacity in terms of responding to that great need? I saw earlier on today that centers such as Prince Mshiyeni Hospital will be needing assistance in terms of water delivery. So if public social infrastructure such as hospitals and clinics are in need, one can only imagine what the situation must be like for homes, ordinary homes or shelters where people are in instances where people have lost their homes. So in terms of delivery via tankers, what is the capacity there?
Well, so far, that's why I said earlier, we're in control of the situation. We have organized water tankers that are going to supply in commercial areas, that are going to supply water in hospitals and clinics, in schools, even in the community halls where we have housed or accommodated our people, and even in other residential areas. We think the amount of the water tankers that we've received, others we've procured ourselves, others we've received a donation at a temporal term across the province. We think we're in control of our situation, but we are going to also ensure that our people, they don't only receive water through water tankers, but they receive water as we continue to restore water across the areas, because they must receive water that is running through the pipes.
And are you able to give us a picture at this stage, MEC, of what it's looking like in terms of how much will be needed to restore much of the social infrastructure that has been destroyed, particularly the roads that are the responsibility of local government, not to mention what will be, the responsibility of other spheres of government, but what's within your domain as local government, roads, bridges, and the likes. Do you have an idea how much damage has been caused?
Well, so far, the damage is more than even a billion, but we have not yet finalized the assessment. We've received engineers from Free State, we've received engineers from MESA, we've received engineers from Western Cape, even our own engineers, and the engineers that are private, coming from private sector. They are assisting us in assessing the infrastructure, not only roads, including water, including electricity. I can make an example with the 3 engineers that we deployed at Uku district, which they've already finished an assessment at Mozambique. Today they were busy with Renkonyene, and for sure tomorrow they will deal with Mdoni and Umzumbe. And before the end of this week, we will at least have a draft report of the assessment, because we don't want to thumbtack the figure, because whatever that we want to do, we must have an informed report on the basis of the assessment that is done by the engineers, not just any layman like myself. I'm not the engineer. I can't just to say sure how much damage be destroyed through these floods.
And MEC, do you have an update in as far as the numbers of people that are still missing are concerned? The Premier today confirming that 5 more bodies have been found, taking the death toll to 448. Any updates you can share on the search and rescue operations?
Well, the figures that the Premier reported when we were together in the when we visited search and rescue team at the Virginia airport, it's the same figure. There's no new information yet. I think we will wait for tomorrow, because we are engaging or meeting with them on the daily basis, so that at least we'll have an updated information.
All right, thank you for that. That's the MEC for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs in KwaZulu-Natal. That's Sipho Hlomuka there joining us.